So for Lent this year, I wanted to do something really meaningful, and I hope that these candies are not too loud as I'm packing them up. But I wanted to do something that was meaningful and impactful, and that I thought would really be a true sacrifice. So the two things that I actually gave up for Lent were, number one, alcohol, and number two, social media. Let me talk a little bit about alcohol. I'm not a huge drinker. I mean, I'm what you would probably consider a casual drinker. I'll have a drink with my friends. I'll have a drink with my husband after work. I'll have a drink sometimes if I had a rough day at the end of the week. Those things rarely happen in the same week. It's usually like, let's go out. You know how it is. You're in your late 40s, which I don't want to admit, I'm almost 50. You're in your late 40s. You want to get together with your friends like on a weekly basis, but that happens like every 6 months. So when I talk about I have dinner or drinks with my friends out at dinner, it's probably like a once every 6 month thing. I cannot get these eggs. Here's me trying to, I used to be able to walk and chew gum at the same time. That doesn't happen anymore. So anyway, so in context, I'm not a huge drinker. However, I did have a couple of get-togethers this year during Lent, which I was like, I wish I could have a drink, but I didn't. And that was kind of part of the sacrifice. And I want to put like a disclaimer out there. This is my experience. I don't judge people who drink. I don't judge people who like to have a drink after work, like to have a drink with work. I'm that person. But I just wanted to say this was my experience. So, like I said, this was probably the lesser of the two sacrifices, but it did make me reflect on that mentality that I sometimes have when I do have a rough week at work. And I do think, I'm going to have a whiskey sour, that's my drink. Or we're going out, I'm having a margarita. And, that's fun and that's fine. And there's, again, nothing wrong with that. I don't see anything wrong with that. It did make me pause to think, why do I think that? Like, why do I think I need to have a drink if I had a rough day, if I'm seeing my friends? So that it just was something that, like I said, that was probably the less impactful of the two, just because I'm not a big drinker. But it did make me reflect on the role alcohol plays in my life. And I've seen it all. I have family members who rely on alcohol a little bit too much. I've seen alcohol destroy people's lives. I am fortunate enough to have not gone down that path, but I know many who have. So again, this is not a judgment. It's just a reflection on my pause from alcohol. Now, will I go back and have alcohol? Yeah, I plan on it. I have a bottle of wine that's been sitting there with my name on it for over a month. And my dear friend Carissa gave me a bottle of wine for Christmas. Again, that's how often we get together. We had our Christmas exchange about 3 weeks ago. It's April 5th right now. It's April 5th right now. And we had our Christmas get together like 2 weeks ago. So will I drink alcohol again? Yes. Will I think about it a little bit more on those days when I'm just like, I need a drink. Probably. And that was just enough of a reflection for me to say, hey, this is kind of a vice that I have occasionally, and maybe I could have a better go-to if I'm having a rough day, or if I'm just kind of feeling blah, like take a walk, which is what I did. Incidentally, that's what I ended up doing, was walking.